includes all the open-ended play, open-ended tasks using the some Legos. Okay, where's the slide? For a while. Okay, that is it. As you can see in the background, there's Lego, Magna tiles, and these are the some open-ended plays that we'll be discussing for tonight. And that is, and we can use this open-ended learning activities with some learning areas like science, math, English, grammar, and we will be tackling discussing it about in this talk. Okay, next. What is an open-ended task? As you can see, as Mr. Frederick discussed it earlier, that open-ended tasks have more than one right answer. It can have more than one more. It can be more one solutions or outcomes that can be completed in more than one way. They can take the form of statements, questions, tasks, projects, or some teaching methods. Also, different students may use different types of thinking, but here in an open-ended task, we will be more tackling about the higher order thinking skills of our learners. Most importantly, there are no predetermined correct outcomes, meaning you can one answers will there will be more than one answers in one task. Okay, next. Okay, as you can see in this picture or slide, you can see the left the lead on learning and see where it takes you. So it meaning there are no walls there. You can use your imagination, you can use your creativity in finding out what will be the answer. Meaning you are not like that. And so that is open-ended learning or open-ended task. Okay, next. So what are the benefits of an open-ended learning? As I said earlier, it will enhance your imaginations, it will develop critical thinking skills, and also it teaches children to ask questions. It is not limited for the teachers who will just talk about it. It is not a teacher-centered task. So also it promotes and develops higher order thinking skills. Also, this the open-ended activities allows students to choose their preferred learning output or learning outcomes. Also, it will connect them. It will connect the learners to the real life situations. They can use their situations in answering a task. Yeah, that's right. Also, next. So again, what is an open-ended learning? As I told you, it is not bound by rules or instructions. There is no right or wrong way. There are no a set end to a project. There are no bound rules or instructions. Meaning the learners will have freedom to choose their own outcomes to it. Okay, next. Okay, again, open-ended learning activities may encourage our students, our learners to give responses. It will develop their creativity and their connections to their professor, to their teachers. Okay, and also there will be connections to the other students or to the other learners. They're going to share their ideas, to share their knowledge, or to share their previous experiences with a learning task. Also, this encourages the connection, the interaction, the student to student interaction patterns. Also, it will gain or elicit more complete and more complex responses, meaning that this is not a stereotype question and answer, a close-ended questions, no? Because in open-ended learning, there are several answers to one question. Also, it allows students to give more knowledgeable answers based on their experience and their ideologies, no? Also, it encourages students to question themselves to question themselves, to question their classmates, and even their teachers. They're going to it encourages their mind to open up their minds on one task or one activity. Also, and lastly, this open-ended learning activities stimulates further thought and exploration. They're going to their mind will be more creative, and they're going to explore on one specific task, giving and leading them to a more realistic, more complex responses, no? Okay, next. Yes, Alex? Next slide, please. Okay. One example is using this open-ended learning activities in their math lessons, or in learning areas like math. And when students engage in math activities that are open-ended, they deepen their understanding of number sense. Meaning, in addition, no, in addition, they can using the some open-ended materials like the Legos or the magnet tiles, they can come out with an answer using these materials or using their imagination, no? Okay. Aside from deepening their understanding, students will participate in mathematical discourse, meaning in a problem solving setting, no? And in a problem solving setting, there when a teacher asks some problems, they are not limited to an answer. Okay, they become exposed to a wider range of math strategies, meaning they're going to use their other strategies more than what the teachers set in that particular problem, no, in the particular task. They're also going to meet mathematical standards, such as making sense of a problems and persevere in solving them. Right? Meaning, in one problem there will be more than one solution. They're going to come up with a solutions that and they're going to try their best to come out with a particular answer. Also, they're going to utilize and use their higher order thinking skills, and when that happens, they're going to enjoy math, because several learners, or most of our learners, hate math, right? They don't want to, and when they don't want to answer, they don't want to go deeper with the subjects because of the numbers. But using this open-ended strategies or open-ended materials, they're going to enjoy and to enjoy math, and then come up with the answer. Okay, next. These are the skill-based open-ended activities that are focused on, again, I said earlier, addition. They can also enjoy subtracting or subtraction, multiplication and division, estimation, any operation, place value. But how? In a day, you can use their any open-ended materials like the leaves, what you can see in the what you can see outside our home or outside or inside the house, in our kitchen, in our living room. You can use anything. You can go localization or indigenization, just like what Mr. Frederick Lapitan said earlier, using the skill-based open-ended activities, they can enjoy adding or subtracting numbers, enjoy their problem-solving activities, um, place value, and also estimation or rounding of numbers. They're going to enjoy math and be natural, finding ways to answer it. Okay, next. So when to incorporate open-ended math problems? Well, they can use this in daily math problems of the day, post it in the morning, and then discuss it during math. One more thing is they can do math chats or warm-ups. Whole day, whole class activities before math begins, no? And then how about making math rotations, or one student will make up um, a quotes or a math chats regard discussing one particular one particular um, one particular problem, and then all of their classmates will be discussing about in tackling how it will be going, how will it be done. And then next is they can uh, they can do independent learning. What is this independent activities? With the use of our open-ended materials, just like the Lego, the blocks, yes, the magnet tiles. They can do it on their own. Yeah, independent activities, no? With the help of with the guide of their parents, with the guide of their teachers, uh, there will be more remote learning will be done. Okay, next. When to incorporate, you can also incorporate it before morning work, or when the bell rings. Okay. Next is also a small group instructions, and lastly is a 5-minute pillar. Use those extra few minutes throughout the day to solve an open-ended problem map. Okay, next example is the example of open-ended learning experiences. Well, before we discuss about the math, now we will be discussing more about the social studies. Here, as an example, it begins with examples of different sizes from a social studies unit on Asia. The first set is a small question, then the second are the larger activities, and the last is a project. Assessment criteria and procedures are provided for each. And then I will be, you're going to see some tables on how we're going to construct a question, and then how will be the teachers will there will be a criteria for teachers feedback, no? Okay, first table is the open-ended question and assessment criteria. Okay, next slide please. Okay, this is for table number 1, open-ended questions and assessment criteria. These are some of the questions that you can be used in your discussion, in your presentation. Okay, first is what impact do Asian countries have on our daily lives? So here, learners or your students will be giving a lot of answers, a number of ideas about fluency, the scope of ideas, how about having the imports, the immigration, the culture of the Asian countries that has impact in our daily lives. Okay, So next is, what impact does the United States have on the lives of people in Asian countries? Well, same as above, your students will be discussing about their ideas on the fluency, their ideas on the immigration, the culture of the culture of the United States, of the American people, and then the immigrations, their and these are the scope of ideas that the students will be tackling about, no? And then lastly, in what ways do you think your life is different or the same as the life of a boy or a girl your age in Tokyo? So here in this example, you as a person, as an Asian person, a Filipino, how is it different or how is it the same as the girl as your age in Tokyo? Or meaning a Japanese girl comparing your life to a Japanese person, no? A Filipino to a Japanese. What is the comparison? What is the contrast of that? So here, your students will be discussing about the scopes, the hobbies, the transportation, the recreation, the religion, the sports, and anything about that that matters. Meaning there are a lot of possible answers to one single question. This is there you're gonna be discussing about the depth of how your life is compared to the different lives, no? Okay, that will be the open-ended questions and the assessment criteria that will be done by the teachers to their students. This is the criteria for teachers' feedback. Okay, next slide, table number 2. For table number 2, this is an open-ended activity with assessment criteria for an evaluation on who will apply them. For this example, an activity is to design a mini poster about the 5 locations in Asia that you find most fascinating. You use rich, colorful language to describe each one in a sentence, so others will share your fascination. Meaning you are fascinated in one country, one location in Asia. Example is a Korea or a Japan, because these 2 locations they have snow. They here in the Philippines, we just experienced rainy season and summer season, but there in Korea or in the Japan, there is winter there. So I am fascinated with their cherry blossoms also, no? So here, the criteria for evaluation is the richness of vocabularies, meaning you're going to score them on the scale of 5. The students will be discussing and using their vocabularies, their different types of vocabularies, and then with that, you can sense that your learners have a rich vocabularies. Also, you can also evaluate their interest on one thing, on one location. For example, their interest in Tokyo, their interest in in Korea, their foods. Or I will be discussing about the foods in the Korea, the foods in Tokyo. So that is the one point of interest. But there are a lot of interest that they can discuss about, no? And they can do it by peer-to-peer interaction. They're going to exchange their ideas. They're going to exchange their experiences, or if they're watching some Korean novela, K-drama, or some animes, they can exchange on what they thought about it. And then they can also, you as a teacher can evaluate the accuracy of names and location. Meaning the correctness of the spelling of each location or each street or city in Japan, or city in in Korea, like that. So these are the criteria for evaluation, and who will apply them, and how will you as a teacher will grade or evaluate their task. Meaning in a one learning areas, in a one particular task, you're going to come up with a lot of different answers, and these answers are based on their ideas, based on their experiences, based on their knowledge about one particular task or activity. Okay, next slide please. Okay, open-ended project with assessment criteria. Okay, in this table number 3, there is a project, and there you are going to evaluate their answers using. Okay, the project is the study of a country. You're going to prepare a presentation and materials to recruit new immigrants to an Asian country of your choice. You're going to include the information of the culture, the economy, the history, the population, climate, and geography, and more. Therefore, you're going to apply criteria for evaluation. And what are those criteria? First, the effectiveness. So how? For example, plane tickets for peer evaluation. No way, one way, or round ticket. Or round trip ticket, no? So, their creativity on how they're going to apply, or how they're going to present their answers, what materials they're going to use to discuss this immigration of to recruit new immigrants to an Asian country of your choice. Okay, next criteria aside from effectiveness is the originality. The teacher judgment on a 5-point scale, meaning there is a rubrics on this originality, and it is given a 5-point scale. Next is an effort or self-evaluation on a 5-point scale. The effort, the creativeness of each learners are going to be graded. Okay, so this is an open-ended project that you can use to your class. And next time that you're going to discuss this item, and you can apply this criteria for evaluation such as effectiveness, originality, and effort. Okay, next slide please. Okay, these are the prompts for creating open-ended tasks. Meaning, this is how you're going to begin. You're going to begin your sentence. You're going to begin your questions, provided that your students will give you some open-ended answers. Okay, so these prompts below are few examples of starting points, or some few examples of the sentences you're going to use for creating open-ended learning experiences of any size in any subject. Each can be completed with information relevant to a particular assignment. So, excuse me. So, how would blank be different if blank? So, these are the prompts, or how you're going to begin your sentence to get for an open-ended task. That will be the first. Then the second is, if you were blank, how would you help an inventor, a person in history, or a character in a story or a novel? So you're going to supply that missing piece, and then by supplying that missing statement, your learners will give you a lot of ideas, their answers. They're going to raise their hands, and then there will be no right or wrong answers to that question. Okay, next is to create a blank to promote blank. So you can Tell them create a poster to promote cleanliness. To create a poster to promote so you're going to supply that to that blank, that missing portion, no? And then again, students will come out, they going to think, and there's no right and wrong answer. Then next is give some number or give 10 reasons, or like that, reasons blank might blank. So again, you're gonna supply it. And then lastly, what makes blank worthwhile, risky, funny, scary? And so these are the prompts, or these are the how you're going to begin your sentence to an for creating an open-ended task. Okay? Next slide, please. Okay. Next is the creative learning activities for young children. As I've told you earlier, I am a teacher of primary learners. So these are some activities that you can do with your pupils, with your students. An open-ended play, a storytelling, puppet shows, role-playing, exhibits. So these are the creative learnings that will be showcasing the open-ended learning activities. Okay, next. So what is an open-ended play? An open-ended play, it is an activity that doesn't have a set outcome. With the use of painting, by the use of cardboard tubes, blocks. These are the examples of an open-ended activities, because you can play with each of them in a number of ways with no set outcomes. Not like with a close-ended play, just like what's this? Okay, this is an open-ended play. So as Mr. Fred Levitan told us earlier, that in an open-ended play activities, it allows these activities allow learners to create and to connect the learning to a learning task to a real life situation. Meaning, in these open-ended activities, learners or students can choose their preferred learning outcomes. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, what are the benefits? The benefits of an open-ended play. First and foremost, it's an individual activity for child who might have challenges playing with some others. It is stress-free. There's no pressure to complete something to look exactly like the image on the box. Meaning just with in a puzzle, right? Or with pamphlet of an airplane toy. It is not an open-ended activity, because there is an exact image on what they're going to do. You're going to do an airplane. So some learners will be pressured about it. In this open-ended activities, an open-ended play, they will not stressing themselves, no? Of course, without stressing themselves, they can build creativity. They can have a painting can be done whatever you want. You want to draw a lizard, you want to draw a flower, a sunflower. You can decide on what outcome you're going to make. And also, it will develop your decision making. Will the blocks be a tower? Will it be a road? Will it be a box? Will you group them by color? We're gonna group them by size. How about the texture? Will you group them by their roughness? So this open-ended play will develop your decision making. Okay, next slide, please. So what are the open-ended toys or open-ended materials that you can use in your discussion, in your activities. So it includes magnetiles, it includes objects from the nature such as the flowers, such as the leaves, the twigs, the stones. Also, you can objects from your home, such as your spoon, your fork, like that, or anything. Also, it includes the art supplies, your paint, the paintbrush, your clay, um, the Legos, are there, and also the dolls and the cars. So these are the open-ended toys that you can use with your learners. Okay, next slide, please. So what are the things to remember? So things the activity should involve the child whole body. Activities should interest the child. Activities should address the learning objectives. It should nurture and develop the children's creativity. Activities should promote social interaction, should develop children's critical thinking skills. And lastly, and if possible, it is a play-based activity. So what else? What are the things to remember? Okay, next slide, please. How about the materials? The materials should be colorful and attractive so that they're going to gain their interest, no? Materials such as art should be cleaned thoroughly after use. Scissors should be plastic materials for prevention, for safety prevention, no? And the materials such as paint should be of high quality and non-toxic. And that's all for today, and thank you and God bless you. Hope you find it interesting, no? That's all.